Margie Bissinger, physical therapist and integrative health coach. We are going to talk about happy bones, happy life. We will have free gifts at the end, so stay with us till the end. Welcome to Green Healing Show, and with this beautiful guest today, I'm very happy because she's a happiness coach as well. And because we didn't have any talk about the bones, I asked her to talk about the bones first because she's physical therapist. So many talents in one place. I'm going to welcome you, Margie, to my show.
Oh, well, thank you so much for inviting me. I'm really thrilled to be here.
Yeah. All right, Margie, tell me about yourself. How did you become a physical therapist, and how did you have a transition to happiness coach?
Well, it's really interesting. So, I became a physical therapist really straight from college. I was always interested in medicine and very much into exercise and how the body moved. So, that the profession of physical therapy sort of fit perfectly. And so then I was working as a physical therapist. And the happiness part's really interesting because that goes way back to my 20s. So, I'm working as a physical therapist. And then in my early 20s, I got married. And it should have been the happiest time of my life. But I found out on my honeymoon, the person I married had been seeing someone else the entire engagement. Not the greatest thing. Fast forward, it didn't work out. I moved to a different city and I was, so now I'm in Chicago at this point, working as a physical therapist with chronic pain patients. And people are saying to me, Margie, you're so happy. What's your secret? And then my patients were really miserable. Everything was hurting. And I thought if they only knew what I had just gone through, they would never say that. But the truth was, it hit me at that moment that I actually was happy and that happiness was not based on your external circumstances. And what was it that got me through this? And I said, you know what? I'll start teaching this to my patients because they were so unhappy. And I just couldn't believe what happened. Chronic neck, chronic back pain got better so much faster than with just traditional physical therapy. And that was around 35 years ago. So I've been incorporating that into everything I do. And now I really believe it's the foundation because, and the happiness I'm talking about is not walking around with a fake smile. It's a deep sense of peace and well being, regardless of your circumstances. And I find when people can achieve that, they heal, they're in a much better place to heal, and their health gets better. Really, everything gets better. And who doesn't want to enjoy your life? So that's how I got into adding happiness to really everything I do.
You know, Margie, I guess they were not happy because they didn't feel healthy. That's one of the reasons.
Yeah, so
So when you
true.
have pain, how can you be happy? So I knew holistically, you need to feel happy, because I see in my PTSD clients and my fertility clients, there is a really big connection between mental health or emotional breakdown and their chronic disease. These are really connected. So even somebody come to me as like have lots of depression, anxiety, when I look at her, I see, oh, they may have overweight, they may have a lot of stomach issue. You see, so as soon as you feel happy, you can take a deep breath and say, wow, this is a great view, I can really feel it. But when you don't feel uh, like healthy, you can't see anything.
It's so true, and it's step by step. So even when people are in a lot of pain, if they can start seeing the good in the world, because there is good, and so often we are just absorbed with all the things that are going wrong, and that's what I see. Once people start that switch, and it's one step at a smile, it's one step at a time, because you're right, they can be overwhelmed with all sorts of things, having healthy habits, in your health is definitely a part of happiness. So it all goes together. Just like you said, if you're not happy, if you're not feeling well, it's going to be hard to be happy. And then if you're not happy, you're not going to feel well. So, but one step at a time, and start looking and start, focusing on things that are working, lots of different strategies to start getting in that zone to help with the healing. And then it all sort of goes together, as you said.
And one of them is having a happy bones, right?
Yes, yes.
So how can we have happy bones? I know, like, everybody say, "Oh, have some calcium," but then you realize having milk products or uh, like dairy products create a lot of inflammation. Then you just wonder, how should I replace with this? What should I replace with dairy products? How should I compensate my calcium deficiency? So tell me what we need to have for happy bones.
Okay, well, the interesting thing is people sort of don't even think about the bones until they think, oh, it's something I have to worry about when I get older. But that's so far from the truth, because we build the majority of our bones in women like 80 to 90% before the age of 18, and men 20. So through our lives, it's so important. And then there's a couple things that are critical. One, just like you said, you need the nutrients. And most people think all that is calcium and vitamin D, but there's so many more. It's really the whole rainbow of nutrients. The bones are no different than so many other parts of the body. So you really need, but very important, the D, vitamin C, the calcium, vitamin D, magnesium is essential, vitamin K2. So it's really a whole gamut of eating the rainbow and eating healthy is very important. And not just eating it, but making sure, as you said, your digestion, if there's problems and you're not absorbing the nutrients, that's going to lead to deficiencies in the nutrients and ultimately weaken the bone. So the diet is critical. And in terms of, you mentioned calcium, you're right, where they used to show the milk mustaches, and that's not what we're looking for in terms of, just increasing your milk, because for so many people, it's so inflammatory. But there's so many other ways. Leafy greens are a great way to get calcium, sardines. I mean, there's just a lot of different ways that you can get calcium. But my favorite is the leafy greens, and that helps energize you. And there's so many other benefits as well. But it is possible, definitely, to get calcium, even if you're not, if you're someone who's dairy free. So, yeah, so there's the nutrition piece, the absorption piece, making sure your digestion's working well. And then there's the exercise. And this is something that really concerns me, because the generation, people are so sedentary today, and the bones respond to forces placed upon it. So it's very important throughout life. I mean, what we do when we're younger, jumping and activities that are putting forces on our bones against gravity is what's going to increase, give us strong, healthy bones. So I think at all ages, everybody needs to really be doing exercises that are healthy and really contributing to the strength of our bones. So the exercise, and then, as you said, the stress. People don't realize that the stress hormone cortisol actually reduces the osteoblast, the activity of the osteoblast, which are the bone building cells. And they've done studies on this. So all of those things, learning techniques to reduce your stress, and it's not really reduce the stress, because we all have stress, but how we cope with it, and techniques so that we can stay, even we can ride the waves that hit us. So those are the basic components of having healthy bones. A lot of things involved in each one, but
So that means changing your lifestyle, right?
exactly.
Yeah. And another thing is, you are integrative health coach.
Yes.
So do you also do the functional medicine or other labs rather than
Oh, I'm a big
conventional
believer.
labs?
I personally don't order the labs, but I work with functional medicine doctors, and I work with, I absolutely believe in the labs, because you find out so much information. Typically when you get a bone density test, that just tells you one thing. And that just says how strong your bones are, how dense the bones are. But it doesn't even tell you the quality of the bone. So two bones, the same density, one can fracture, one won't fracture. So the tests, I think I really like the micronutrient test to see, sometimes tests don't guess to see what we're missing. Gluten and celiac, problems with celiac disease or gluten sensitivity can really affect your bone health. There are many younger people who have osteoporosis at a very young age, in the 30s, because they have celiac disease or they have an issue with gluten. And I think everybody, if there's any, should who has an issue with gluten should get their bones tested. But it all really goes together. I see that a lot actually in my practice where people don't even realize. And once they get rid of gluten, all of a sudden their bone density starts increasing. So, or whatever food sensitivity it is, and really anything that causes inflammation in the
Yeah.
body is going to negatively affect your bones. So,
Do how can we prevent it? Because as you said, by the time you don't feel pain in your bones, you never go to doctor and you never get any test done.
that's
Do
so
you,
interesting.
yeah,
Yeah. The
do you
interest
recommend like annual checkup, or what kind of checkup we need to do to be sure that our bones are healthy enough?
That's a very good question. And the thing is, osteoporosis is silent. You don't feel it. And you can have very low bone density and you don't feel it until there's a fracture. There's no pain associated with osteoporosis. So it's not something that really we get checked. Most people won't get checked until menopause, and just to get a baseline of where they're at. Because a lot of times, typically when women are when estrogen, when you're having reduced estrogen through menopause, is a time where you can lose more bone. And so that's typically when you'll get a bone density. But I think the best thing for prevention is to just do healthy lifestyles, unless you've had something. If you've had something like anorexia or an eating disorder or a problem, it probably is worth getting checked, early on. But most people won't get checked before men because we're still building bone, up until 30, when we have a 25 to 30, our peak bone, we're still building bone. But then after that, we maintain and then gradually lose. So it's sort of like a bank account. At any age, the more you can put in when you're younger. So everybody with children listening, and get them running, get them jumping, get them eating their nutrients. You're just doing healthy living like that, reducing stress is going they will have good bones. So, but the thing is, I think it's reducing the things that take it away as well. Living on soda and living on junk food and sugar. Sugar reduces the absorption of both magnesium, calcium, and it's just such a anti-nutrient for the bones. So I think, the healthy diet, reducing the junk food, really making exercise a priority. And the exercises that are important for the bones are the high impact. And so that would, and weight bearing, but not just walking, doing the jumping, playing sports, doing things like that is going to really make a big difference when you're younger. And also for women at all ages. Women oftentimes after they have a child are so busy they don't take care of themselves. So to make sure in your program that you are doing the jumping, the high impact, the exercises that they found and they've shown can really increase bone density, as well as, just a good exercise program too.
Yeah. So, do you also give exercise, like a specific exercise to your patient?
Oh, yes. Yes, absolutely. I think it's very important because, when people see me individually, yes. And I also think this is a really important concept. As a physical therapist, a lot of people think, oh, they injured their shoulder, they just have to live with this pain. Or I really believe that people don't utilize physical therapists like they should, because or your posture, if you're walking around like this and in a rounded posture, which is a very, very big problem today, you're setting yourself up. Like if I lift my shoulder, if you round your posture out and you try to lift your shoulder, you're not going to have full range of motion. And so the posture must be dealt with, and everybody's different. So I'm a big believer, if you have the opportunity to work with a physical therapist, if there's any issue, or if you have osteoporosis, you can see a physical therapist just to make sure the exercises are working for you and you're doing them correctly. because that's huge. Just to sort of give an exercise and someone's not doing it properly can also be a problem. But yes, I do give posture exercises as well as strength and resistance training. Research has been shown that when the bones, like for example, if we're just contracting our our biceps, that pulling on the muscle saying, hey, we need more bone here. And so resistance training at least twice a week is incredibly, there's been good research how important that is. And it's the weight, it's not the repetitions that really can increase bone density and is important.
What do you recommend for people who are sitting on a chair for long hours?
Okay,
Give
well,
us some exercise.
I really recommend getting up, at least every 30 minutes, just getting up, standing up, moving. I think that's critical. And then I guess I could show you, there's some posture exercises that you can do that are just so simple because this is the problem. And the other problem is sitting though. How are you sitting? A lot of people think, okay, well, I'll just bring they think the military posture is the way to be. No, because think about that. If you just did this, then your muscles are contracting. Posture should be comfortable and natural. So, what's the problem when we're sitting? The problem is it wouldn't just work to bring our shoulders back and our chin back. The problem is the low back. If your low back is rounded, and everybody who's sitting, you can try that now. If you just round out your low back, look what that does. That throws you into that rounded posture just from your low back being rounded. So I think the first place to do is to make sure that you're sitting on your sit bone. So you can actually put your fingers under your buttocks, and there's two bones there. And you see if you round out, they go forward, and if you overarch, they come back. So you sort of want to be right in the middle of that. And that's one, and a good way, a little trick I tell people is pretend you're sitting on the face of a clock, and all the numbers are there. And so then you pretend you're moving your pelvis, like going back and forth. It's like called like a pelvic tilt, or you're moving your pelvis very small, back and forth from 12 to 6. Then you close your eyes and you go in smaller and smaller increments. And that's just sort of a good way to get yourself on those sit bones. So once you're on those sit bones, then you can always visualize. The body does amazing with visualizations. So visualize that your spine is lengthening. And that's just a great image to do with everything you do. So you can visualize your spine lengthening. And then what you can do, you can just ever so slightly, there's a couple ways to do this because so often we're like this and we have this forward head. And
Yeah.
that compresses also your neck. A lot of people have headaches because of that. And so what you want to do is you want to think that something's like on top of your head and you're trying to reach it. Or you can just think of ever so slightly bringing your chin in. And you can see if you're doing that right by putting your hand in back of your neck, and it's ever so slight. So it's not you're not going down. You're just going ever so slightly back, and you'll feel your neck move into your hand. And that's just a great way to keep your neck lengthened. We're so busy with texting and we're so busy with things and that forward head posture. So that's something that's easy to do. The second thing is your shoulders. Because we get busy and we're doing so much in front of us, what gets really weak is our back. And I've also found with osteoporosis, strength training wise, people do not work their back muscles. They'll do the biceps, they'll do the triceps, and they don't do the back muscles, which are so very important because that's where we tend to lose bone, our spine, our hip, and our wrists. Those are the three main areas. So anyway, an easy exercise you can do is pretend someone's like putting a gun to you. Stick them up. And you can just bring your shoulders back and down. Where was my, I'm looking at back and down like this, just be ever so slightly. It's just
Am I
back and
doing
down.
right
I'm
this way?
sorry. Yeah.
Am
So
I?
you're bringing it, so you're bringing it. You see me okay? Back and
Yeah,
down. Um, and
like
I
this.
actually, I have in the free gift, I actually go over all of these. So
Wow,
they can have them.
good.
And yeah, so that's something you can do really easily. I guess I could show something. Do you want me to show a standing up
Yes,
thing?
yes, yes.
Okay, so I'll show you one of my favorites. This is a qigong, and
Oh,
I
qigong. I heard
love
about it a lot.
qigong, and it's so powerful because you could do this. during your day, and it also helps with relaxation. So I wasn't planning on getting up, but I will.
Okay.
Let me just move my screen for a second so you can see my studio here. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, let me take this out for a second. Oh, you know what? All right, I'm just going to pull out the microphone for 1 second. Okay.
Okay. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. No, no, I can't. No. Uh, okay, sit down. Don't worry about that. Go to the mute button. There is a there. You can no. Go to cam and mic. You can actually change it to and go back to your microphone. There is an audio button there. You can go back to your microphone. On the bottom. That's fine. No. Go to cam mic on the bottom and click. There is an audio button there. You should have your mic there. Mic. Okay, can you remove your microphone? Maybe you can talk with the computer. No, remove your microphone from your computer. I can't hear you.
How about now?
Oh, yes.
Oh, okay. I see what it was. I see what it was now. Okay. I got it. Okay. Sorry, everybody listening.
Okay, no worries, no worries.
Do you want me to show it now? Do you want me to show it?
Yes, please.
Okay, sorry. Sorry. Okay. All right. So all you do is okay. So all you do is you're to start with your knees a little bent, and you're just going to bring your arms up and back and down. And so you breathe in, and you're bringing your arms up and back, and breathe down, and breathe in. And so what we're doing in the back is the arms are going back and down and down. So it's great for the posture, but it's also amazing because it just feels so good. And down, and then breathe in and down. And then I always like to end with just gathering all the positive energy, stretching up, getting everything, and bringing it into our body, our head, neck, chest, stomach, legs, and anything bothering us, let it out. And then gathering all the positive energy and just bringing it through our bodies. So that takes like no time at all. And it's great because it's combining that exercise I showed you with the posture, bringing your shoulder blades back and down, with also a qigong to incorporate breathing and just relaxing the whole body. So I love that exercise. It's so simple to do. And talk about happiness, bringing in all the good is also such an amazing thing.
Beautiful. So, Margie, I see you have you have a website and you have some gifts. So, because I promised my audience to give them some free gifts. So tell me about that.
Yes. So, okay. So I can put this in now. I think it will work so you can hear me better. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Okay. Okay. So the free gift I have is I did a program a while ago, and it was called Improve Your Posture in 2 weeks. And as I said, posture is so important because that's our foundation to do all the exercises in. And plus, you feel fatigued if your posture all day, your muscles are working so hard. We don't want to feel tired. We want to feel amazing. So basically, there's 7 exercises plus that qigong that I showed you in there. And my suggestion is doing, maybe one every 2 days to try to just sort of learn the habits. It also goes over sitting in detail. And so it's just an easy way to really figure out maybe where, what you can do to improve your posture. And that's the good thing. It's easy to do. And then everything feels so much better after that. So yeah, so that's the gift. It's just, you just go to happyboneshappylife.com/gift. And you should be able to get that.
Yes, it's here. If you can see, happyboneshappylife.com/gift. So go and check it out. This is great exercise for your health, and of course, it's free. So thank you so much for being here. I really enjoy. If you have any sentence, give us some hope about the happiness, please do.
Oh, absolutely. The good thing about the happiness is that, do I have a minute? I'll just say there's like a happiness set point, and we all have one. But the good news is science has shown we can increase this, and we have so much ability. And just little happiness habits, regardless of where you are, it doesn't matter. There's so many things you can do to increase your happiness, and it just makes such a big difference because we have one life. We have one life, and we want to make it as colorful and enjoyable as we can. And so yes, so just start looking for the good. I would say if there's one place to start, just start focusing on what's good in your life and really like sort of absorbing it and then just really soak it in.
Thank you so much, Margie, for being here. Hopefully, we can have you in our later shows and summits. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
Please subscribe to Panta Calhoun Transition channel and order my book Naturally Conceived through Amazon. Thank you for watching.